Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. So I've probably been to, in 6-7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6-7 years.
Every morning at 3 a.m. Cause that's when I start my grind in. And I got no time for stumbling and chit chat talk with the fake friends. I'm on my grind, yeah. I'm on my grind. You need to drive, I'm on my grind.
We want to welcome all of his Glory Nation from east to west and north to south. Welcome to Kingdom Business Builders with America's Kingdom Builder and Business, Clay Clark. All right, going to bring Clay on just a moment. First is Kingdom Fuel. Kingdom Fuel, fuel your life with 20 grams of clean protein, organic veggies, essential nutrients, all for the less than a drive-through menu. There it is, Kingdom Fuel. It is not a protein shake. It is a full meal replacement, 25 vitamins and minerals, reds and greens. All right. You can see the cost versus going out to fast food restaurants. There it is. Big Mac, Chick-fil-A. Look at Chick-fil-A, 66 grams in one meal. You're only supposed to have 60 grams a day. And you see Kingdom Fuel is only 2 scoops. That's all I take. I think it's 90% of everybody that uses Kingdom Fuel only uses 2 scoops. So it's $3.80 a meal. You can't afford not to. There's also sample packs that you can get. Sample pack for $9.99. Get the chocolate, vanilla, and you get the recipes with that. So check that out today. There it is. All right, Purely Prepared Patriot. We've had many of America's frontline doctors on the last couple of weeks about this variant, COVID variant, and other variants hitting the United States. We have hydroxychloroquine, fenben, ivermectin. No prescription, 40% off. Again, no prescription, 40% off. Grab those today. I take my ivermectin every week or every day for that matter. All right, try Tails Beef. This is Texas beef. No shots, nothing bad in it. It is by far the best steak that I've ever had delivered to my home. It is the best. Great hamburger as well. Promo code His Glory for $20 off. American and Christian organization. Check them out today. Luxury for a Cause. Donate your high-end items to support His Glory Ministry. Mission to bring 1 billion souls to Christ. Here we are accepting high-end bags, jewelry, clothing, etc. If you feel the tug on your heart to donate, go to hisglory.me/donate. Also, you saw the shout-out today was Mike Lindell. We have Lindell TV on His Glory. His Glory runs 24/7 on Mike Lindell's Lindell TV as well. But we're going to have Lindell TV on Channel 3, hisglory.me, live news now. And we're going to have some updates from Chris Burgard on the ground. All right, it's time for Clay Clark.
Super Dave, thank you for allowing me to be here with you, sir.
Welcome, Clay.
Well, brother, I'm excited to talk about daily excellence, and I encourage everyone to get out a piece of paper, write this down, folks. Again, achieving daily excellence as a business owner requires morning routines to be non-negotiable. Let me try that again. Achieving daily excellence as a business owner, it requires morning routines to be non-negotiable. And Dave, maybe your producer can pull this up, but for anybody who goes to thrivetimeshow.com right now, thrivetimeshow.com, we just had Tim Tebow speak at our business conference last week. And we have Eric Trump joining us September 25th and 26th. Now, Dave, this is my 20th year hosting business workshops. My 20th year, Dave, 20 years in a row, I've been doing the same thing. And people say, that's why you look so bad. The reason I'm telling folks is 20 years doing the same thing. And Dave, we just wrapped up this Tim Tebow conference. There's a lot of work that goes into preparing for the next one. And so I have a very detailed checklist. We have to book the catering. We have to book the audio-visual team. We have to book security. We have to book the porta potties. There's a lot of work that has to be done. And there's a checklist of things that could be overwhelming if you were to look at it. And I'm not kidding you. The checklist to produce the September 25th and 26th conference, and every conference we do, those conference checklists tend to be about 45 pages long. Seriously. And Dave, you've been to the Reawaken Tour. You were a huge part of the Reawaken Tour. You guys hosted the baptisms. You guys helped promote the events. But you always saw me running around with this crazy clipboard. And this thing, people are going, what is on that thing? It is page after page of items that need to be done. I'm not kidding, there's over 45 pages of stuff that needs to be done to pull off the September 25th and 26th conference. I have a haircut chain. And Dave, there's a run list, there's a checklist of things that has to be done to make that happen. His Glory every day to make this great broadcast happen. There's a checklist of things that your producers are doing behind the scenes. You rose to very high levels in corporate America. And by the way, a lot of people at the conference with Tim Tebow, they know of you, they know of His Glory, and they wanted me to tell you hi. But to rise to the level you did in corporate America, you had to have a daily routine. And so what we're going to talk about today is how to design the perfect morning routine. So I'm going to start with this step number one. Everybody out there, I want you to get out a sheet of paper, and I want you to write down your goals that you believe God has given you for this year, for your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, and your fun. What? It's for your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, and your fun. And Dave, you know this and I know this. What gets scheduled gets done. So I want to start there, Dave. I want to get your thoughts on this. Why is it important that every day we renew our mind and that we don't allow ourselves, as Romans says, to be conformed to the world? So every day we hit the reset button and we write down the goals that we believe God has given us for our faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, fun. Why is that an exercise, Dave, that we should all be doing daily?
So that we stay on target. You know, that's key. We just had LT and we know we're talking about the Marines. Marines are shooting. You know, when you shoot and you miss, you got to adjust your target and so that you hit it right square ahead. So you always have to adjust daily.
So little things we do to adjust here. I'm just telling you things we're going to do to adjust. We have this conference coming up in September. I just talked to a wonderful listener who attends the Thrive Time Show workshops. They're a multi-millionaire. And they said, Clay, we would like to open up our home to be the place for the VIP dinner for the night that Eric Trump attends the conference. Could we do that? We would like to open our home. And by the way, their home looks like the Mar-a-Lago of Oklahoma. It's this palatial, gorgeous mansion with pools and mini pools and spas and saunas and unbelievable landscaping and artwork and custom stone. You feel like you're at Mar-a-Lago. It's unbelievable. And Eric has been there before. And so what I have to do, I wrote it down on my list today. I wrote it down right here. Got to call Eric Trump right now. Got to call him and say, hey, are you down to go to that new location? And again, that's a new data point that came in. We had crazy rain that happened the other day, crazy rain, and thus it caused some partial flooding in my building. So we are putting in a French drain system right now. And I could go on and on, boring your listeners with the things that I did not plan that have been thrust upon me today. But I'm encouraging everybody out there, write down your goals for your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, your friendship, and your fun. So tonight, I'm doing family night with my family because every Tuesday night we do family night. So at 7 o'clock, no matter what has happened or hasn't happened, I stop it and we go family. We focus on the family. So that's in my schedule. That's a non-negotiable. Today, no matter what I had going on, I know I have an interview with His Glory. So I stop everything and we hop on this broadcast together. I've got a very busy afternoon today. And no matter what I have planned, there's things scheduled in there that have to get done. And then the things, but again, it's so important every day we have the thought is, am I being a good steward of the day that God has given me? Every day that we have is a gift from God, and what we do with it is a gift to God. Now, step number 2, you got to write down your non-negotiables. And I'm going to attack myself. I'm going to attack myself on this one. So everybody out there, you can judge me. I have certain non-negotiables, one of which is I want to call my wife every day and express to her why she's awesome. It's on my list. Now I'm going to tell you, folks. I'm going to tell you what the things I should do to do better. I'm probably good at doing that 90% of the time. 90, which is not acceptable. Okay, because it's a non-negotiable. And so there are things we as a couple, we have 5 kids. There are things we go through. And I can always remember the days where I haven't called her to give her a kind word or to give her some encouragement or to tell her how much I appreciate her. I can always remember when that happens because throughout the day, we're going to have battles and things that we as a couple encounter, just like everybody watching this show. We have challenges. We've got 5 great kids. There's things that come up. And if I haven't set the tone as a husband by wrapping my wife in love and encouragement and doing that before the day starts, the first time that we come into some sort of, we'll call it intense fellowship, I'm reminded that's why I now am alerted to the fact that I forgot to call her and tell her nice things to start the day. Because Dave, if you're married, we've been married for 25 years, or actually 24 years together. I'm telling you, every day there's going to be some kind of adversity. So for me, Dave, calling my wife and giving her a word of encouragement, that is a non-negotiable. Another non-negotiable is I like to call at least 5 people a day and express gratitude. And that is an attitude of gratitude that I have tried to put into my schedule. And when you call somebody, and I do it every day, when I call somebody and I say, hey, I just want to tell you that I appreciate you, they always say, really? Well, and what do you need? I mean, I'm telling you. And I go, nothing. In fact, I did this last week with multiple people. I said, hey, nothing. And they go, do you need something from me? I said, no. And they said, but what's up? And I said, well, I got a conference this weekend with Tim Tebow, and if you want to come, I'll get you some VIP tickets, no cost. I just want to tell you thank you, but I wasn't calling about that. I just want to tell you how much of an impact you made on my life, and I wanted to tell you thank you. Those are non-negotiables. And when you do that for 20 years in a row, you start to see fruit from it. So going into the break here, as we have some time to think during the break here, I encourage everyone, go to thrivetimeshow.com, and request those tickets for September 25th and 26th. Eric Trump right here, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Julie Green, Amanda Grace, Pastor Dave Scarlett, Mel K. It's the Thrive Time Show 2-day business growth workshop, thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. And then think about what are your non-negotiables with 4 seconds on the clock. Think about it going into the break, folks. What are your non-negotiables?
Our Kingdom Candy with a K again. 2 flavors. We got salted
Delicious.
caramel and peanut butter. These are great. I mean, they're
kind of like a complete meal.
yeah, they're 200 calories. People want to know that all the time, and not that we're worried about calories, but these things have great ingredients. They're not sweetened with sugars. They don't have those false sugars or fake sugars, artificial
They've got
sugars.
fiber in them.
They do. It's interesting. Salted caramel crunch is our newest flavor. We'll come up with some other stuff at some point, but those can bridge the gap of that sweet tooth craving, the sweet monk fruit. And that's really, if you know what that is, it's not going to raise blood sugar.
It's really only 2 grams of sugar. I refer to it as the sweet without the cheat.
Any of these things out here are designed to be money saving, nutrition giving, and life enhancing. And this is a big deal. So you'll find out, like thousands of other people did, that these things will help you live healthy longer.
President Trump has a bold new vision to help secure America's future through the power of cryptocurrency. Partnering with pioneers like Elon Musk, he's turning crypto into the next frontier of financial freedom. But how can you advance your retirement in this digital age? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the world's first AI-driven platform designed to help your cryptocurrency investments thrive. Thousands of retirees nationwide are already securing their futures with Block Trust IRA and receive up to $2,500 in funding bonuses. The experts in accelerating wealth retirement.
Yep. And we are back with Clay Clark.
Dave, I really want to encourage everybody out there. I'm going to pull this up on my screen. Let me see if I can pull this up. Maybe I can't pull it up. I tell you what, I will tell your producer, and maybe through the great art of production, I'll send this to you when we hop off. Maybe your producer can insert this. But there's a case study I want all your listeners to be able to look up, okay? And the case study or the example of somebody who changed their life in a profound way starting at the age of 47. His name is Clay Stairs. Clay Stairs, okay? And Clay Stairs was a former school teacher and a man who successfully ran a kids camp. And at the age of 47, he said he wanted to become self-employed. And Clay Stairs has now gone on to build a multi-million-dollar company. He's super successful. And at the conference we just had with Tim Tebow, he came up to share his testimony or his story about having hyper success. And one of the things that he talked about was he had to change his cadence and change the way he organized his day in order to become super successful. And I want to get into these pro tips, these moves that everybody out there can use, because again, if you are wanting to become super successful, if you want to make your wallet great again or a wallet great for the first time, you've got to learn how to master your mornings. So step number 3, this is step number 3. You can't wait until you feel like doing what needs to be done. That is so important. And Dave, I want to get your thoughts on this. I know for me, usually what I need to do is not related to what I have to do. As an example, just this morning, I had somebody in my life that really, and one of our employees in one of our companies that was making just a series of dumb decisions. And I'm involved in a lot of companies, so just dumb decisions. And Dave, this is somebody who's been on my payroll for 3 consecutive years. And I thought to myself, wow, this employee is literally, and I know this to be true, there's an employee faking an injury. I mean, come on. And Dave, you've seen it. You worked in corporate America. Yeah. It's where somebody's faking an injury. You know, they're faking, oh, my back. Oh, and they're doing that to get out of work. But as soon as they step out of the office or you see them walking around, they're not injured. And they're telling people like, oh, yeah, I'm good. I just had to kind of fake that to get that time off. And Dave, what I want to say is unrelated to what I have to say. And I think there's somebody out there that can learn something from that. Dave, in corporate America, were there ever times that you had something that you needed to do that wasn't what you wanted to do?
Just about every day. But if you don't nip it in the bud right away, it's going to be a problem. And you got to take care of it right away.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is a 3-year employee. Do I let it fester? No. Should I avoid the conflict? And my bad self says, oh, yeah, just let it go. But I have to deal with it. You have to nip that in the bud. And again, I'm encouraging everybody out there, these kinds of thoughts, these proactive thoughts cannot occur if you don't organize your day. That's why you want to organize your day before the craziness starts. So before I hopped on the show, before I interacted with other humans, I thought to myself, what are the things I need to do in the areas of my faith, my family, my finance, my fitness, my friendship, and my fun. So I'm driving back from the workout today. I was up at Lifetime Fitness, and I'm driving back, and I'm thinking to myself, I've got to talk to that guy. because I know he's faking an injury and he knows he's faking it too. And I need to tell him, hey, listen, multiple employees have come to me and told me that you have said you're faking an injury in order to get off this extended break. And so thus we've got a problem. So either A, you can, apologize and we move forward, or B, you don't work here anymore. But I'm just saying that was a tough conversation. Another conversation today, I had a client, wonderful person, and they wanted to get tickets for that Tim Tebow event we just had, and we were sold out. We didn't have any more tickets. Every single seat we had was booked that we couldn't get. And so, they called to get a ticket. They couldn't get in. I got to call them today and I got to tell them, hey, I apologize. Again, they're calling the day of the event. And I got to call them today and say, hey, I apologize. You couldn't get a ticket. If you want to come see Eric Trump, September 25, 26, we can do that. I apologize. They're probably not going to be happy. They've been a client for a long time. They claim that they didn't know the event was happening, and maybe that's poor marketing on my part. I don't know. But I'm saying that conversation probably won't go super well. But I have to do it. Another conversation I have to have today, Dave. I have a landlord, one of my buildings that I'm involved in. I lease space. One of my companies, we lease space, and there's a leak in the ceiling. And the leak keeps leaking, and they keep not fixing it, and they keep saying they are going to fix it. So I'm going to have to call them today and have that conversation. And again, if you do not master your mornings, you cannot have these kind of proactive thoughts. If you wake up every day feeling behind and overwhelmed and stressed, you're just not going to have massive success. Again, achieving daily excellence requires mastering your morning routine. Move number 4. You have to embrace that you get paid for the value you add to the hour, not for the hours you work. And I really want to get your thoughts on this, because it is possible, if you're not careful, if you work in corporate America enough as you did, and you rose to high levels there, but it is possible if you work for the government long enough, as many people, your listeners have, it is possible that you will start to believe that the number of hours you work is related to what you should be paid. But as an entrepreneur, you need to understand that the hour you get paid for the value you add for the hour, not for the hours you work. Dave, I want to get your thoughts on that.
That is so true. It's the quality. Do you rise? Are you profitable for the organization you're at? And you do provide value to the CEO. In my case, we used to have a director who would get up at 3:30 in the morning and send an email to the CEO to make it look like he was working early, and he wasn't. It was a game.
It was a game. And again, I'm just telling you, if you're watching today's show and you say, you know what, I have a business, I want to take it to the next level. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com, and you click on the testimonials button, we had a couple that came to the last workshop. True story. Her name is Amy Schubert. She came to the workshop. Her husband's name is Bronson Schubert. Think about this. He is an insurance agent. She is a real estate agent. These people have been faithfully coming to our business workshops. They've been implementing what they're learning. They have 7 kids. 7 kids. And at the workshop, I asked them if they would come and share their success story, because, again, in Oklahoma, everybody has an insurance license. Everybody has an insurance license. In Oklahoma, everybody has a real estate license. In every state, there's tons of real estate agents and insurance agents. But yet these two, this power couple, the Schuberts, they have 7 kids, and yet they find time to get it done, which leads me to my final point. You have to say no to grow. So we brought these guys up on the stage. They did not call me. They didn't ask if they could speak. I called them and I said, could you guys speak? You're such faithful and kind, diligent clients and people. I would love it if you could come to the conference and we could do a Q&A session so our wonderful attendees could ask you how you find time to get it done with 7 kids and 3 businesses. 7 kids, 3 businesses. How do you, as longtime clients of mine for almost 10 years, how do you get it all done? And what they began talking about was you have to master your mornings. Every day you got to master your mornings. You got to organize your day. So you plan the day and then you work the plan. And then all the questions that people were asking was, well, how do you find time to do this? How do you find time to do that? And what they started talking about was this thing called the no-go zone. This is the things they say no to in order to have the time needed to say yes to things. And so this is so important. Dave, I have some rental property I'm involved in, and I can't rent it twice. So if I rent a property to you, a lot of our friends and family will stay there. If I rent it to you, that means it's not available for somebody else to rent. And it seems obvious in that situation. Or if there's a parking lot, you park somewhere and nobody else can park in the same space. That seems obvious. But with our schedule, for some reason, we want to watch Netflix, and we also want to work out. We want to call people and tell them thank you and express gratitude, but we also want to mindlessly watch Sports Center every day. We want to make sales calls, but we also at the same time want to scroll through TikTok all day. So I'm encouraging everybody out there, if you are a doer and a goal pursuer and you want to learn how to achieve success from a Christ-focused perspective, I encourage you to go to thrivetimeshow.com. We've got a Julie Green joining us September 25 and 26 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have Amanda Grace joining us September 25, 26 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have Pastor Dave Scarlett yourself joining us September 25, 26 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Mel K is joining us. A lot of the people from the Reawaken America tour will be there. But more importantly, a bigger idea, the bigger theme is these are Christian business owners and ministry leaders. And so when you begin to ask questions during the Q&A sessions, which by the way, we have a Q&A session after every speaker, they're going to answer the questions from a Christ perspective. And it was so awesome watching the Schuberts. They were asked questions, Dave, about, how do you find time to do this or that? And everything kept going back to, as Christian parents, we believe it's important that we get our kids to church and that we mentor our kids on a daily basis. And everything comes from that perspective because we want to teach our kids to fear Christ and nothing else, to fear God and nothing else. And Dave, there's something about you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And when you're in a room, Dave, with super successful Christians, what begins to happen? If you're out there, if you're watching today's show, Dave, and you've not been around a lot of super successful Christians, when you're in the room with Christians that are doing well financially, what begins to happen, Dave, in the mind of an attendee?
It brings the whole atmosphere up. You're around like-minded people, and you gravitate. You come with new ideas. You sharpen the iron when you do that. It's great.
I encourage everybody out there, if you'll go to thrivetimeshow.com and you use promo code HISGLORY, 3 great things happen. 1, you have a chance to win a backstage pass so you can meet the actual speakers. And again, you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you say, what's the promo code? HISGLORY. You say, how do I do it? Go to thrivetimeshow.com, request a ticket. You just when our team calls you back, you fill out the form, our team will call you back. And when they say, how'd you hear about us? Just say HISGLORY and you have a chance to win a backstage pass. Second, you get a discount off of VIP tickets. If you want a VIP ticket, you get a discount off the VIP ticket if you use promo code HISGLORY. And the third thing that's available for everybody is we have scholarship tickets available to make these events affordable for everybody. So the Reawaken Tour, I think most people figured out pretty quickly that I charge $250 or whatever price you can afford. I've always done the same thing for my business conferences. So if you're watching today's show and you need a hand up, not a handout, I would encourage you to go to thrivetimeshow.com. September 25, 26, Eric Trump, Julie Green, Amanda Grace, Pastor Dave Scarlett, Mel K, Flyover Conservatives. It's going to be a blasty blast. And Dave, with 20 seconds on the clock, I pitch it back to you, sir.
Well, Clay, and I told you in the break, I talked to 4 or 5 people over the weekend. They're so excited about this event. So get your tickets. I think they're going to sell out quick. So go to Thrive Time, use HISGLORY. This is going to be a great event. You're going to learn a lot of key things on how to run a business and be motivated for such a time as this. Clay Clark.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called DJconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello, hello, hello. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know. You guys must be in your water or something, Clay. But boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 a.m. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. This is the creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed, and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's what was on Clay, this technology. You tell your group I was so impressed because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay. And what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call, and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual, and we picked it up, and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to 100% growth. We're a full functioning company. It's great. We're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls. We've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious. They're fun. They're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly encouraging all the time, and he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive, but I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. It's he keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something, and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that dollar clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or what was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay, and let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business? Or was that something that you were maybe excited about or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. There was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're going to fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.
Whoa.